Hello, guys. Good morning. Happy Coffee Talk. I'm still on travel for a few days, and so Coffee Talk is not in its normal location, but same coffee cup as yesterday, which is my favorite, I don't know, like landscape looking mug, and I'm drinking that Double Dead Ravens Brew coffee. That is so ridiculously good. And so, yeah, quick announcement before we dive into the coffee talk topic. Next week on Thursday, I am doing a metabolism masterclass for women. And so this masterclass is definitely something that you would want to attend if you have ever said, so if you've ever said any of these things, I have a slow metabolism, or I gain weight easily, or I have a hard time losing weight, or you just feel like in general your metabolism is broken, maybe you feel like it's a genetic thing or an age thing, whatever it is, you should attend this free masterclass. It's going to be an hour. I'm going to teach you essentially how to fix it. I'm going to show you how to speed up your metabolism. I'm also going to explain three really common mistakes that people make that hurt their metabolism. They don't even realize that they're making them. And so I'm going to explain all of that completely for free on this masterclass. And so I'm going to put the link in the show notes, in the bio, all the places. So be sure to sign up. If you cannot attend live, and you want the replay, you still have to sign up because that is how you will access the replay. So the replay will also be available for free for a few days after the masterclass, and then it will switch over to a small fee if you miss the free version. But I want you to attend live if at all possible. And what I'm doing over the next week is I'm collecting questions. So if you have a specific question related to you and your metabolism, or just metabolism in general, maybe you've heard something that you want me to address on the masterclass, then shoot it to me over DM. You can send me an email, Christy@fitmenutrition.com, or in any way that you can reach out to me. Let me know what your questions are. I'm actually going to put a question box in my story later today, so you can put your questions in there, and I will be sure to build that into the training. This is for you. I really want you to get a ton out of it, and so send me your questions and then come live to that masterclass for women. So let's dive into the topic for today. I'm calling this lazy nutrition, and I was joking with a friend the other day. So I do jujitsu. You guys probably have heard me talk about it. I signed up a couple years ago, mostly just to put myself outside of my comfort zone. But now that I'm doing it, I've been in the groove for a while, and I pretty much had the same training partner the entire time. Her name's Rachel. She's fantastic. She's such a good training partner because she's always there. She's consistent. She's got a happy attitude for the most part, the same as me, mostly happy attitude. We both are tough and we want to work hard, we want to learn. And so she's a great training partner. And the other day, she was literally sitting on me. It's called Mount. So she was sitting on me and probably trying to choke me or something. And I felt like I didn't want to move at all. And I just told her, I said, I am just so lazy. And she's like, are you kidding me? You're not lazy. And I was like, you don't know. I actually am lazy. You just have no idea. I've always, quote, identified as a little bit lazy. And she kind of made me laugh, but then I realized something funny, which was that most of the things that I've crafted to create a healthy lifestyle in my personal life are based on self-awareness. They're based off of understanding things about me that, like feeling a little bit lazy and doing something to balance that out or to make a way to find success anyway, despite sort of my natural predisposition to be a certain kind of way. And I never really thought about it like that. But then I also started thinking about coaching and Fit Me and the coaching offers that we do and the program that we have, this 1 year program, and then even like my free games and challenges in the Facebook group. And I started thinking about those, and I was like, those are really just based off of things that I've struggled with or things that I've directly seen people struggle with. And so out of struggle slash, your nature to be a certain kind of default, not so great way, comes solutions. And so I think that that's really interesting because it's definitely a way to reframe some of the things you might feel bad about or want to apologize for, or maybe even consider to be a weakness that you can't overcome. Is once you identify what they are, they can actually be the pathway to you creating solutions and a system in your life that works for you. And then you don't have to feel bad about them anymore. You can just kind of own it. And so I laughed to myself because I say lazy nutrition, and really I am kind of a little bit lazy. And most people who know me wouldn't think that. But that's because, again, I've crafted my life based off of that knowledge. Some of the things that look super, quote, motivated, are not motivated at all. I'm not motivated to do them, but I just do them anyway because of how I've put them in my day or how I've organized my routines. And so it looks as though I'm motivated when actually I don't feel motivated the vast majority of the time. And nutrition has been that way for me too. In fact, I never felt particularly motivated to put together fancy meals or to learn, crafty ways to make food taste incredible or put together these like beautiful Pinterest plates. In fact, those Pinterest plates have always kind of intimidated me a little bit. And even like though I enjoy, taking them in and learning about them, I'm just too lazy, to be honest, to do that kind of stuff. I would rather put my time somewhere else. And so nutrition for me has been not saying like I'm lazy so I'm going to eat junk food, or I'm lazy so I'm going to just ignore my nutrition altogether and get overweight and feel all these things. I feel like instead it's I don't really feel like doing a ton and I'm not going to be very motivated to do this. And so let me find the simplest and most effective way to do this consistently. And doing that has created a very sustainable kind of nutrition for me. And so what that means is sometimes I don't reinvent the wheel. I pretty much eat the same 2 breakfasts all the time. And I don't get super sick of it. But why? Because they work for me and because it's again, a little bit lazy, right? I either eat eggs, vegetables, and potatoes or oats, one of the two, or I'll eat these like protein muffins if I'm on the go or on travel. That's what I had this morning. And so it's one of the two. And then my meals, my lunches and dinners almost always look like Fit Me plates. It's always a protein with some seasoning on it, sometimes a seasoning blend. I'll do some vegetables, whether that's a salad or broccoli or green beans or asparagus or something like that. And then I do a carb with sweet potato, it's rice, it's something like that, maybe some gluten-free toast, like you name it, a tortilla, whatever. And then I'll put some healthy fat on there, whether that's guacamole or sour cream, or maybe it's built into, maybe it's a little bit of cheese, who knows, but that's it. I don't do complicated recipes. And so funny enough, like that basic plate that I just described has turned into the Fit Me plate, which is actually a really great way to get balanced nutrition. So we teach it to every single Fit Me client. We give away a free guide in our Facebook group around this, plate concept. But the plate concept was born out of the fact that I just didn't feel like doing anything complicated. And that actually, when I looked at other people who were doing things sustainably, they didn't tend to do things complicated either, because complicated doesn't tend to be something you can repeat long term. And so I'm like, okay, well, if we make things too hard, we're not going to be consistent. And if we're not consistent, then it's not going to add up to matter to anything. And so ultimately, we have to be consistent with anything we want to see produce results. And so instead of feeling crappy about myself and just like owning this, like, oh, I'm lazy, I can't do it, it's like, no, I don't tend to feel motivated around cooking. And so let me find the most repeatable and doable way to create healthy nutrition. And then now I've built something sustainable. It's kind of the same, like if you find maybe, hey, you're not athletic. You're like, hey, this is kind of the way I came out of the box. I'm not athletic. One, that's a label. It's a limiting belief. You can change it. But 2, maybe then you shape your workouts to become more athletic. You're like aware of the fact that that's hard for you. So you go ahead and make it better by addressing it, and also finding things that you enjoy. Maybe like doing something super complicated for exercise is just not sustainable for you. So you're like, yeah, I'm going to work on that athletic piece, but I'm also just going to own it and say that I'm not going to be doing, gymnastics as my workout. I'm going to be doing these things because they're repeatable for me and I enjoy them. And they help me become a little less unathletic, but also at the same time, I can repeat them over and over again. And so I want to challenge you today to first recognize that simple and sustainable can be born out of a self-awareness. And in fact, our path to finding a sustainable, healthy lifestyle has to be born out of self-awareness, because what's sustainable for you might not be sustainable for me, might not be sustainable for your neighbor. So you have to have a level of self-awareness in order to create sustainable nutrition, exercise, all of it. And so instead of labeling these things and going to bed feeling bad about them, or telling everyone how you're lazy, you don't have motivation, you're not strong, you're whatever, those are again just labels and limiting beliefs. Instead, recognize those pieces of you and start to build your lifestyle to shore up anyway, so that you can have a health. Again, there's no shortcut. Let me just remind you something here. Although I said that my nutrition I feel lazy, I don't feel motivated sometimes around my nutrition, the shortcut would be, okay, well, let me just order all these like pre-done meals because I feel lazy. That is not sustainable. That is not the solution that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a shortcut. I'm not saying like, oh, well, I'm lazy, so I'm just going to eat fast food every day, because that's not a shortcut either. That's a fast track to feeling unhealthy and overweight and no energy. But a shortcut might be like, I'm lazy, so I'm just going to drink these supplements every day, but that's not creating any long-term change for yourself. So that's not the solution that you want. But on the other hand, you can say, hey, generally I kind of feel unmotivated, so I'm going to go ahead and put my workouts at 8 a.m. because I know I'm far more likely to do them at 8 a.m. than I am at 4 p.m. because later in the day I have way less capacity and I generally don't feel very motivated. So I'm going to do them in the morning when I have the most capacity. There's the least many things that can get in the way of me doing it, and then it's done. That's what I'm talking about. Self-awareness, but then proactively choosing something that's a positive for you based off of that self-awareness. And so when I say, lazy nutrition, what I'm saying is if you are not particularly creative, then stop trying to be creative around your nutrition. Find some good things that you really like and put them on repeat. If you find that, you struggle with meal prep and you're not able to get organized, then you're going to have to put it in your calendar. That's going to be a strategy that recognizes, hey, if it's not in my calendar, I'm probably not going to do it. That's self-awareness, but it's not like giving yourself an out or a pass. It's saying, because of the self-awareness, I'm going to go ahead and make a proactive choice to do something about it. I'm going to put this in my calendar. I am going to have a friend meet me there. I'm going to choose foods that I like, but I don't have to recreate the wheel every time because I know that I won't do it if I have to do X, Y, and Z. That is self-awareness. And again, that creates what's sustainable for you, but you do have to take a positive, proactive choice and not just give yourself a pass. Giving yourself a pass does nothing. And so, yeah, I joke that I'm a little bit lazy, but it's again based off of, it's kind of like now a funny joke to me instead of one that I have to feel bad about because I know that I'm stuck. I'm not stuck. I'm kind of aware that I'm not particularly motivated all the time to do those things. And so I've created my life and routine to ensure that I'm doing the right things to take care of myself. And you can do the same thing. If you're sitting around waiting for motivation or waiting for some core part of you to change, it's probably not. So you need to start shaping your life around that. And again, don't accept the limiting beliefs, but on the other hand, self-awareness means I'm saying that I'm aware that this is here and I'm going to do something about it. And that is not the same as saying I am deciding this is who I am and I can do nothing about it. That is leaning into that limiting belief and just being stagnant and stuck in it, as opposed to saying, oh, this is kind of where I'm at. I actually have to do something about this if I want to change it, or if I want to make sure that I am living my life the way I need to anyway. And so hopefully this was a helpful coffee talk message for you. Again, the goal of this is that you actually do something different. So when you listen to these coffee talk podcasts, I hope that you get not just like motivated, because that'll fade in 5 minutes when you're distracted by something else, but I want you to take a proactive action based off of this podcast. Maybe you need to start doing something differently, or maybe you need to give yourself a good kick in the pants because you've, again, accepted a lot of your limiting beliefs instead of doing something about them. And give yourself a kick in the pants and make a change. Do something today that actually moves you forward. Don't just listen and then come back tomorrow and listen. I mean, I want you to listen, but I want you to do something different too. That's the whole point of this. And so thank you for plugging into Coffee Talk. It means so much that you listen. It means so much that you get value out of this. If you like this, do me a huge favor, screen capture this episode, share it, and tag me. People find out about it if you share it, especially if you send it to somebody. But if you just share it and say this was a good episode, then somebody might check it out for the first time, and that means a ton to me. I don't have any sponsors or anything for this podcast yet, so that's really the only way that people find out about it. And so thank you so much for doing that. If you haven't subscribed to Fit Me Coffee Talk, do so on your favorite podcast platform. If you're not a part of our Facebook group yet, come on over to Facebook, search Fit Me Community, request to join. I will add you. There's always great stuff happening in there. Coach Leo is just doing a live workout in there. We've always got something good happening. So check that group out. And last but not least, do not forget to register for the Metabolism Masterclass, which is on Thursday next week. I hope to see you there. Send me your questions, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.